So far we talked about the definition of public relations, and we also looked at the skills that you would need as a PR practitioner. In this lecture, I'm going to share with you what a day of a PR practitioner looks like, and then in the next lecture I'm going to build on this lecture to discuss the various functions that a PR practitioner does. So what are the kinds of things that a PR practitioner does? To get an understanding of that, let's look at a hypothetical scenario and let's walk through the day of a PR practitioner. So we will be traveling to Mexico City and we will be meeting Eduardo, who runs his own PR agency in Mexico City. Eduardo's agency is a fairly small size agency with 7 people, and he has about 18 clients. His clients are dispersed across the globe, and his agency is also a fairly old agency in a sense that he's been around for the last 12 years. So what does Eduardo's day looks like? The first thing Eduardo does when he wakes up in the morning is to quickly scan through his smartphone to pull up the key stories on his clients that are delivered to him by the news service he subscribes to. So in this particular news service, he can actually indicate the names of his clients, and all stories that are relevant to his clients come into his inbox. After he quickly scans these stories, he then assesses his meetings for the day, looks at his calendar and checks in with his assistant to make sure that the event planned in the early evening for the launch of Intelinet, a new mobile company, is all set to go. So she goes over the list of things, the list of attendees that are coming, the food that has been ordered, and he gives his okay in all of that and says that this looks good to go, and gives her some instructions as well. Then he gets ready, and once he gets into his office, Eduardo once again quickly tracks the conversation on his clients on social media. So he logs into a few social media applications, and through these applications he's actually able to check the kinds of conversations that are going on and really see if there is anything salient with regard to any of his clients on any of these social media platforms. After doing this, he starts getting ready for his meeting. His first meeting of the day is with Mr. John Wong, a client from China who manufactures alternative energy technologies and appliances and is interested in expanding to the market in Mexico. Now, in the meeting with John, Eduardo lays out the strategies he has outlined for setting up meetings with key politicians in Mexico, as well as the campaign that is planned out for later in the month to be placed through major newspapers. This is going to be an advocacy campaign trying to generate public opinion in Mexico around alternative energy. After wrapping up the meeting, Eduardo quickly goes over the press release that his writing team has written up and calls up his key contacts in major newspapers to talk about the upcoming release, to see if anyone is interested in the story and to see if he needs to provide any additional information. He also makes sure to go through the media kit and explain the media kit to a couple of journalists that he had been talking to. Now, after grabbing a quick lunch, at this point he meets up with the creative team working on the Toys Box branding campaign for the Latin American market. So Toys Box is launching a new product line, and this particular campaign is focusing on how to deliver these brand strategies. He goes over the copy of the advertising campaign and inserts a few key points to discuss with the social media team working on the social media component of the campaign. He also discusses with the promotion team the particular kinds of promotional strategies they are going to put in place and how that's going to synergize with the social media and advertising components of the campaign. Later in the afternoon, Eduardo goes over the schedule of the Intelinet launch. His last meeting for the day is with a senator to discuss the energy bill and to present the policy brief he has worked on for his client Clean Energy. So he again prepares the research, goes through the research brief, goes over the main points as he gets ready to meet the politician. Now, Eduardo's day wraps up with the event that he had planned for early in the morning, that he had actually worked on scheduling and checking on. So his day actually for this day that I'm describing was already about 14 hours. Typically, Eduardo puts in 14-hour work days and often has to work over the weekends and work at nights as well, interacting with clients in East and Southeast Asia. Eduardo loves his job. It is fast-paced and dynamic. There are new things to do, new problems that arise, and he really likes this changing pace. He also likes the fact that he does many different things throughout the day, and often he multitasks between these many different things. He thinks that gone are the days when he had to write press releases after press releases and that's all he would do. But he still makes sure that he spends plenty of time with them. He still makes sure that he keeps his writing polished by working through them and by guiding others and mentoring them on how to write press releases. He thinks that writing press releases is an important PR function that a PR practitioner should always remember to be conversant with. He also meets a variety of people throughout his day, interacting with these people, and has no shortage of interesting projects to carry out or to pay attention to. At times, though, his job does get stressful, especially when he's handling a crisis. But Eduardo says this is the fun of it all. So the life of a PR practitioner, you see, involves multiple roles, multiple functions, and brings about a great deal of diversity and challenge throughout the day. We will build on this conversation in the next section to then look at the various functions that Eduardo does, and this will give us insight into the specific functions and roles that are constituted within public relations practice.